welcome to Militant Geek Preparedness. So this is kind of a two-part kind of video. This is a video response to Mike Tango Whiskey, and this is going to be my addictions and a confession. So I got my confession bag here. I'll just say that I've got my confession bag here, and we're going to talk about my addictions first. So one of my addictions is tool organization, and I kind of go a little overboard when it comes to it. That's my screwdriver set there, right? So even my screwdrivers are in a set. I didn't want to deal with fighting with sockets, rolling around in a tool case, a tool box, and all that nonsense. So I went this method when it came to a ratchet set and some open end, box in, a little bit of various stuff. But I mean, mostly it's a socket and ratchet set. So it's so nice to be able to look down in a case, and I use these tools. That's why my cases have leads and stuff, because I use my tools. I do that for the little local repair business I have going on. But anyway, I can just take a peek down into my box, and I can see if there's anything missing, especially, and hear me out on this, guys, especially the 10mm socket. So see, there's a 10, there's a 10, there's a 10. The 10s can be spotted immediately. None of them have ran away. And I've noticed that the more organized your tools are, the less they run away. The less they just disappear. So I became addicted, and I guess that's partially a confession that I'm a little bit OCD about my tool storage. So that's my screwdrivers and but it don't stop there. Oh no, any normal person maybe it would stop there. No, even my pliers even have their own little, and a lot of these, of course the DeWalt's a name brand, but all my tools for the most part are not name brand, other than I've got a drill and an impact set that's Porter cable, and I've got that DeWalt ratchet set. So that was my pliers. And then, just not to be left out is the wrench category. And what kind of person would I be if I didn't have the metric version? So yeah, I'm a little bit addicted to tool organization for sure. So again, I like to be able to just look in the case and see that everything is there, that I'm not missing anything. You would have no idea how much being able to do that is a blessing for somebody that's tired of buying so many sets of tools. So this is like, these tools here make the third time in my life that I lost all my tools. Well, almost all. This past time I lost all of them. Previous times I still had like a toolbox or two, but I lost the majority of them. This last time I lost every single one of them. So when I'm building my tools back up this time around, I want to be as organized as humanly possible. So okay, we are not done with addictions. If you've been around the Watchman News channel very long, and you'll see it more and more on this channel here, I vape. So I'm a nicotine addict. So I don't, my guilty pleasures, and I have no issue being honest about them, are nicotine, caffeine, and THC. Those are my three, right? So caffeine, of course, coffee. Who can live without that? Not me. Nicotine. Man, I've been addicted. I'm 53 years old. I probably got addicted to nicotine maybe around, I don't know. I started maybe around 14 years old, something like that, 13. You know, stealing a cigarette here and there from mom, eventually leading and stealing a pack of cigarettes from mom, and, you know, to eventually, as a teenager, riding my bike up to the gas station to buy a pack of cigarettes, right? So, I quit smoking. I took up vaping full time. I got involved into vaping when it first came to the United States. I had a business involving vaping, but didn't at that time quit smoking. I mean, I did kind of a couple of times, but I went back to it. However, 2014, I went to strictly vaping and have been strictly vaping ever since. I have the ability to rebuild these pods, although I haven't done it successfully yet. When it comes to rebuilding the devices that really aren't intended to be rebuilt, you have to play and fiddle with it to figure out how to do it to where it works correctly. And I'm in that process right now. I'm in that process of figuring out just how it is that I need to recoil and re-wick these to where I'm not either getting flooded, meaning it leaks, or it's not giving what they call a dry hit. Imagine burnt cotton, because that's what it is. So I've got the rebuild kit for these. They take these like little cotton strip things, and then a couple of tools to assist in getting those apart. So I will get good at rebuilding these. It's just a process. It just takes time. So this is new for me, and I'm gonna get more. I've only got one brand new unopened pod left, but I am gonna get more. And I'm going to learn to rebuild them right. So, my only one of these kind of devices that take this kind of a pod thing, I got this, a friend of mine has one, and I checked it out, and for what it is, I absolutely loved it. For the vapors out there, I highly recommend this. The coils last for quite a while, the pods I should say, last for quite a while. The longest I've ever seen a pod last for so far. Not that I have a lot of experience with pod systems, but this is a good one. So anyway, this is what I'm more used to. This is a Geek Vape Aegis Legend, and it's sub-ohm mod. This is a rebuildable, so I rebuild all my own coils and put in all my own wicks and all that. I can even use just regular organic cotton balls for wicks. So this is a tried and true method for getting nicotine in an SHTF situation. This is, yes, it has been through the ringer. I have used this for years. I continue to use this. I know it looks ratty, it looks crappy, and I don't continue to use it because I don't have anything better to use. I continue to use it because it still works, and until it dies, I will continue to use it. I do, however, have a brand new one, still sealed in its plastic, never been opened up, right here. So when that thing does, you know, let loose the magic smoke, then I will go to that one. So, and then the tanks, I do RDTAs. They're rebuildable tank atomizers, and so I've got, well, that's an RDTA. This isn't an RDTA. This is I'm not even going to try to work with the letters right now while I'm making the video. These are a little bit different. RBA? No, it's not an RBA. Anyway, it's got a little different designation just because of the way that it draws. But anyway, here's an RDTA. I've got several RDTAs. I don't happen to have one. See, the difference is your tank's down in the bottom here, and your wick and your coils are up top here. Okay, that makes this an RDTA. This has a different designation because the wicks are on the bottom, and it draws the liquid from the bottom up into, you know. So it's a little bit of a different classification. They're both tanks. They're both rebuildable. But what makes the difference is where that coil is. Oops, hang on. I'll be right back over there. Had to flip my thing back up. Okay, so I've got enough supplies. I make all my own e-liquid. I've got enough supplies to last me for the rest of my natural life for the most part for making e-juice. So nicotine. It's a priority of mine. I know that many people would look down on that. Many people who aren't addicted to nicotine would look down on that, not understand it. But those that are addicted to nicotine, really it's worth your time and effort to get involved in vaping and learn how to build your own coils, do your own wicking, your wicks, all that stuff. It's really important to learn all that stuff, because then you can buy all the supplies super cheap. Super cheap. Super cheap. So, anyway, that would be my addictions. So, and speaking of my addictions, I'm going to partake for a moment while I bring this over, because we're going to have to get serious here, because it's confession time. Mike Tango Whiskey, brother, I need help. This is a pack that goes on my bug out bag, okay? You have your possibles pouch. Well, that's what this is kind of supposed to be. Kind of like a possibles pouch, right? Just for those absolute essentials that you gotta have. In my case is a little bit different. I've got approximately the same distance. We're just going to say same distance, roughly 16 miles. But I don't live outside of a major city. I mean, St. Louis is 30 miles away, but it's across the Mississippi River and in a different state. We do have woods. It's not just all, concrete jungle here. So we do have woods. We're somewhat rural of an area. I mean, we live in town of roughly 10,000 people. But we've got plenty of woods around here and all that. So keep that stuff in mind. The other thing to keep in mind is neither myself or my girlfriend are very mobile. So she has cerebral palsy, walks with crutches. I have COPD. I have degenerating joints. It is what it is. So while I understand, respect, and agree that speed is the best thing, if that's not an option, you have to improvise. And so unfortunately, sometimes that turns into your possibles pouch turning into the kitchen junk drawer. So, and that's pretty much what I got going on here, is the kitchen junk drawer. Now, the reason I said all that other stuff is because we do need more supplies than, I would say, the average person to get 16 miles, just simply because of our situation. So, but I've really got to go through this and get rid of this. This is my little, there's a solar blanket in there, toothbrush, toothpaste, and I'm going to tell you something a bit personal but funny at the same time. Little floss in there, of course, hand sanitizer. These are those little towels that you get moist and they turn into a towel. I'm not even sure what the hell. Can't see what that is. Oh, fingernail clippers in there. I keep some of those on my EDC. I do keep on my EDC, real quick, I'll show you. My lighter is over on the desk, so I do normally have a Bic lighter. And here I said it was on the desk, and now I don't see it on the desk. I must have put it somewhere. But I do have normally a Bic lighter in my pocket. However, I also always have this. And if you've been around the Watch My News channel, and I've showed it before on Militant Geek Preparedness. This is my Maritac Peanut XL. I recommend people have a lighter like this. It doesn't have to be a Maritac. I got this from countycom.com. Last I knew, they still had them. They're a little pricey, but they're worth every penny. But there are cheaper options out there. And essentially what it is, it's like a Zippo style lighter, a wick lighter, right? Except if you fill up a Zippo lighter and you put it in your bug out bag, you go back to that lighter in about a month or so, and it's going to be bone dry because all the fuel, the lighter fluid, evaporated out of it. Okay? Now you can take a piece of electrical tape and wrap around the Zippo lighter when you put it in your bug out bag, and there's a pretty good chance that you'll still have fluid in it when you need it. Just unwrap it and should be good to go. Better off just to get a lighter that's designed to be that way. So that's what this is. It's got an O-ring here that the cap seals onto so that the liquid don't evaporate out. I got a ceiling fan right above the table you're at, so. But, yep, the fluid won't evaporate out of that. And then I carry, this is a tank of fuel. So that'll fill that up about 3 times. So, and then I got fingernail clippers. That's what made me think to show my EDC, because I've got fingernail clippers on my EDC as well. And then, well, if I'm showing all my EDC, this is my folding blade that I carry on me. Here is my straight blade that I carry on me. So here's my Super Tool 300 that I carry on me. And then this is my keychain here. And on my keychain I have a knife sharpener. And I have a ferro rod and striker on my keychain. So, and a piston. So anyway, figured I would show you that since I saw the fingernail clippers in there. I'm like, oh, I need to probably show you what I actually carry on my person all the time. So this stuff is like always on me. Okay, so the humorous thing about this, and I probably need to take it out, the toothbrush and toothpaste. I don't have teeth. So, I mean, it might be a good barter item or something, but I don't have teeth, and probably not real useful. So, anyway, that's my water bag here. Yeah, they're Ziploc bags. Get over it. I wish I had better bags. I intended to have better bags. I just haven't been able to get better bags yet. So anyway, this is my water filtration. So this is Sawyer. This is like, it's a squeeze, but it's like a mini squeeze or whatever. So anyway, got a way to filter water there, and got some more of those little towel things in that as well. This is my fire making bag. You know, this, I don't know that I could really tear down anymore. I think I would leave this just like it is, because everything in there is for a purpose. Here, I'd get rid of the toothbrush and the toothpaste, and I don't know that I would get rid of anything else. I am going to get rid of the toothbrush and the toothpaste. I'm not going to, just saying, well, the floss could be useful for other things. I will leave that in there. So, and then this is my fire bag here. And this is going to be kind of hard for me to, because I look at it and it's like, oh, but I need that. No, I don't. No, I don't. Cotton balls. Yeah, these Vaseline, obviously. Vaseline cotton balls. Some char cloth. So, let's leave the fire starting, you know, stuff to assist starting it kind of together and put it back in there, because now this might tingle whiskey. No, never mind. I'm gonna say this is something to consider, but not for you. But for other people that may have to light a fire, this is something you should really consider in your preps. It's called a pocket bellow. And it looks a lot like the, you know, like the old style telescopic radio antennas. And that's basically what it is. So what this is for, though, is when you're lighting fires. So you can blow through the big end and aim the little end down at your coals. and it will help you with lighting the fire. Man, these things are incredible. They're called a pocket bellow. So, I will keep that in there. Here is, these are some of those storm match kind of things. Waterproof matches. That's a pack of those. I'll keep those because that could be important. I'll talk about that in a moment. Here's a Fresnel lens, Fresnel lens, however you want to pronounce it, potato. So that's good if you've got the sun. I don't see why not. As thin as that is, it doesn't take up any. It doesn't have any weight, no space. There's a big ferro rod that I've got in my bug out bag. And it's got even a better striker. And do I really need that in my bug out bag? Do I? I mean, it doesn't take up much room. It adds a little bit of weight because there's a little heft to this. But do I really need that in my bag? Considering I already carry several ways to light a fire, as well as already have a ferro rod on my keychain? No, I don't think so. I'm going to take that out. I hope you're proud of me, Mike Tango Whiskey. I'm trying, brother. I'm trying. Okay, a little magnesium block here for helping light a fire. We'll keep that. It's light. Really doesn't take up considerable room. And then can openers. I've got two P51 can openers here. So, yeah. Those get kept. Oh, and I'm not done. Remember what I said about wrapping electrical tape around a Zippo lighter? That's because I did. And you can too. I don't need that. Don't need that Zippo lighter in there. I'm covered for fire. I don't, you know. So, and then in here, we've got more char cloth. We've got some rope. We've got a flint and steel. And it's cool to have. It really is cool to have. This was given to me. I appreciate it. Really do appreciate it. The gentleman that gave it to me. But let's be realistic. And that's a little bit of space. It's not the, you know, for its size, it's not the lightest thing in the world. We don't need that. We don't need that. So, and lastly, in that bag were these. And these stay. These are sharpening stones. For the credit card size sharpening stones for knives. So those stay. So, we've gotten that down a little bit. Not a lot. Not like we took a lot of stuff out or anything like that, but every little bit of me taking stuff out helps. But holy cow, dude. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. You're going to be real proud of me in a second, Mike Tango Whiskey. In fact, I'll show it next. So, got rid of a little bit of that. Heck, I could barely close my bag. It was getting so ridiculous. So, those will go back in. Here you go. Mike Tango Whiskey right here. This is my small set. I think I said something in your comments one time to somebody, if not to you, about having a credit card size set. So that's my little credit card set there. And then I ordered this from CountyCom as well. Uh-oh, is that coming loose? Yeah, but I don't think anything came out. A little practice lock there. Come on, come on. I need to just get rid of this bag I have them in, because they fall out anyway. But yeah, I've got some picks as well. Like I say, they need to be actually taken out of this bag because it's more of a pain in the butt than it's worth. But I do want to get some. I want to get some tools from Covert Instruments. So, really, really do. I bought these from that countycom.com website, and you can find these on Amazon. So, anyway, not quite sure that that bigger set was quite worth what I paid for it. I thought because of the website that it was on that it was probably going to be a little more top tier equipment, and I found out now they're the same cheap ass ones you can actually buy on Amazon. So you know, some of their stuff is really, really, really awesome stuff. That's all there is to it. Other of their stuff, you're not getting as good a quality as what you think you're getting. So anyway, here's going to be one of my issues. And this is where we're going to have to really talk. So, knives, cutting tools. I got to get this stuff out of here. So, this is a sharp finger, and I love this. If I had to way to Ranger carry this knife, I really need to make a sheath for it. If I had a way to Ranger carry this knife, I would Ranger carry it in a heartbeat, and that would be my fixed blade that I carried on my EDC. I love a sharp finger. Really love a sharp finger. So, this is a SOG Flash 2, and you know, it's spring assisted. It's you know, it is what it is. It's okay. And you know, I'd rather actually honestly carry the Thief and Grow than what I would this SOG Flash 2. So this is what it is. This is not spring assist, so, but as you can see, I don't even have to flip it. I can open it with just my hand motion. So, I mean, I love this little Leaf and Grow knife. And it's a cheap knife. I mean, less than 30 bucks or something. They're cheap knife. Leaf and Grow. This here is a SOG Flash 2. It's a more expensive knife. And, you know, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not a fan of having to, you know, do that to close it back up. And I'm not a fan of that little thumb stud there. I think they should have had something a little more, like, elongated and flat so you can get your thumb under it and get some good real estate on it. But, I mean, you can do it. You can use it, but it could have been better. So, yeah. This doesn't need to go back in there. Come on. I mean, I've got enough cutting tools on me. And in my backpack, I've got a tree saw. I've got my SCH 43, my Jess X. So, I don't need that. More knife. I love a good more knife. Love a good more knife. They're as handy as it gets, and good knives, and I'm gonna keep that in there. I need to get my pile of keep in there separated from the pile of no way Jose. So, two more knives here, another Mora. So I'm actually not gonna put that one back in. And then this, I love this for a straight blade. And I can Ranger carry this. It's just this damn Tech Lock buckle. It's so damn thick. If I sit down, it's uncomfortable as hell. It digs into my back. And so I need to come up with a better... somebody had said in a comment on one of my videos to use paracord, to wrap paracord in there. Somebody else talked about zip ties or whatever. Now I don't have any screw hole, you know, any holes up top, but I could probably put some there. So I don't have any of the little things to put in there though, the inserts. So, but you kind of need them so you don't damage the plastic. But anyway, I love this knife. I really do. If it was more comfortable to carry, I'd probably be carrying it. So, it's another Eef and Grow knife. It's just another cheap Eef and Grow knife. But they really hold an edge well. There's nothing bad I can say about the Eef and Grow knives. I don't believe in paying a fortune for a knife. I think it's silly. This, man, I really would like this to go back in. But it is a fairly hefty knife. And no, I gotta be smarter with this. That's the whole thing. I gotta be smarter with this. Now this is something that will be going back in that a lot of people don't think about putting in their kits. Whoa, a little sewing kit. A lot of people don't think about putting that in their bags, but and no, it's not it's better to have it and not need it thing. It's there's a good chance if you're going through woods. I mean, if you're not going through woods and all that, then you won't quite have those issues. But if you're trekking through woods, there's a chance that you could, have to repair a bag or some clothing or what have you. So it's a good idea to have. And in a pinch, I mean, you do have needles in there. In a pinch, if you did have to give yourself some stitches, you've got some needles in there. So, just saying. Cordage, forget what they call that stuff, but holy cow, is this some crazy strong stuff. So, it's that flat stuff. So, like a webbing. USB-C cable, for obvious reasons. Paracord, yeah, I still have it in the plastic because I'm an idiot. Got a little more that's still in the plastic because I'm an idiot. Cordage. Those are gonna stay in there. So I'm gonna do the biggest letdown, Mike Tango Whiskey, the biggest letdown at the end, okay? Twine. So that will go back in because that's handy. Another cable here. This one is micro USB. Because oops, sorry, I just hit the microphone, I know. Sometimes I do have some stuff that uses micro USB yet, so. Okay, and for the most disappointing part of this video, especially for Mike Tango Whiskey, and it's going back in. Oh God, do I want to do this? Do I want to do it? Oh, I gotta do it. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. Compass. And it is going back in. Why? Because while I have lived here in this town since I was 5 years old, and I know the area very, very well, I've smoked weed on every back road. Probably went parking with chicks at every little nook and cranny you can find around here. I know the area quite well. However, not trekking through the woods, I do not know the area quite well. And while I respect and understand Mike Tango Whiskey, and I could even say I don't need this either because not that hard to just kind of walk parallel with a familiar road to get to where you're going, to kind of stay off the beaten path, if you know what I mean. Yeah, you can most certainly do that. Could I get to where we need to go, because we do have a designated beg out location. Can I get to where I need to go without this on foot? Yeah, I could do it. A very high chance I could do it without being seen by anybody else. So, by staying off major roadways and stuff like that. But they would be in sight, because that's how I would get my bearings as to where I was. If I didn't have something like that to get my bearings, that ain't such a bad idea. So, different use case. And I get such a kick out of Mike Tango Whiskey, because, man, it's hilarious to see people's responses to him about the compass. And they won't shut up long enough to even consider the thought. Even though Mike Tango Whiskey says it over and over and over, they won't even consider the thought that maybe his use case is different than their own. And see, that's where a lot of the people that go to run and gun his comments, that's the deal there, is that they can't see past their own desires, their own, not only needs, but quite frankly, wants. Kind of, it is what it is. So, just kind of throwing my stuff back in here. It should close up a little easier. I mean, I did get rid of some stuff out of it. It's going to close up much easier than it did before. Hell yeah. So, still a little bit of weight. much more than, and I know there's a lot of stuff that's not in here. This isn't, so if I'm bugging out, this is a bag that's got these clips on it that attaches to my bug out bag. So there's other stuff that I have. It's not like this is my bug out bag. This is just a bag that attaches to my bug out bag. I've got other different packs for other different things. Right back in there, I'll show you. This is a med pouch, right? That would be going with us. So medical's in here. And then this is my radio bag here. So got all my radio stuff. Mike Tango Whiskey just showed a antenna that he can hoist into the air to be able to get a higher, get up higher, so he's got a better line of sight with his antenna. He's got a larger version of this. This is the one that I have that I carry in my communication bag. Same deal. You can tie a string to it, tie the other end to a rock or whatever, and toss it around a limb or something to hoist the antenna up in the air higher. So I've got one of those I carry in my communications bag. Not as big as what his is. I saw his and my eyes lit up. I want to get one like he's got. Definitely. I'm not quite sure. I assume that with that, I'd have to ask Mike Tango Whiskey this because I don't know. Would that antenna be overkill for, say, an 8 or a 10 watt handheld? The antenna that you have, would that be overkill for 8 or 10 watt handheld radio? So, because I know that, you know, you'll actually start defeating the purpose if you don't put out enough watts and you start adding too much, whether it be just cable going to the antenna or a bigger antenna itself. There comes a point to where you start going backwards. You don't get better. You don't get out there better. You don't receive, you know, don't really, well, I guess you'd probably receive better, but you won't put out better because of all the cable, because of all the antenna mass and all that stuff. That's my understanding of it. So anyway, that's my radio bag. Mike Tango Whiskey, just real quick, brother. Carry a 13,000 milliamp hour power bank and Anker for recharging. Write in the Rain notebook in here with the Write in the Rain pen. Obvious reason. I've got the older style. How do you say it? Baofeng. I've got the older style Baofeng that I saw you had some of these too that got the little port on the side of the battery. Yeah, so that's my charger for that. And I've got the dummy battery that'll fit those radios. That's got the accessory or the cigarette lighter plug. So, and then this is just a quick reference guide for the menus and stuff on the Baofeng. So, I like your way of saying it better, and I do believe you're probably correct on that. Baofeng, that's probably correct. So, anyway, I've got an extra extended battery in there as well. So, you haven't figured it out yet, Mike Tango Whiskey, my name's Mike. So, I'm sure you done figured that one out a long time ago. So anyway, that's where I carry in the front of here. Here's my innards. I have one of those mic speaker combos. This here is a shortwave radio. This you can't transmit on, but you can most certainly receive. So it's a shortwave, AM, FM. I don't think it doesn't have airband on it. This is just a case. I got a base charger in here, some other cables, and the little rubber crap antenna that comes with the radio. So this actually, to be honest, probably needs to come out of that bag. In fact, you know, I mean, this is what I'm doing, right? So I'm doing that right now. I will take out that other antenna I will put it back in. But I don't need a base charger. I mean, come on. And then the other headphones. And nah. Nope, that's ridiculous. So, aha. There's my clip. It fell off. That clip goes on this end here. So, it fell off. Not a big deal. I'm going to clip that on there so I know where it's at, though. So, and then also in here, this is a throat mic. So that if I've got a lot of noise around me or what have you, I could put this on and they'd be able to hear me clearly. Plus it's got that earpiece, so I'd be able to hear them better. This is the programming cable with the disc. I do carry that in my bag. Will continue to carry that in my bag. Just another shortwave antenna. And I don't need to carry it in my bag. I don't need both. I'm going to leave that one out. It doesn't need to go back in. I've got one in there. And then this is the old style of USB that that this radio here charges with this. So, my shortwave radio. So anyway, I did get rid of a little bit in this pack. So that's good. Can set that up on the end. Not putting that back in there. This goes back in there. This goes in this side. Not putting that big old bag back in there. My radio's gonna love that. I think that's everything. So yeah, I cleared up some space in that. Turn that radio around then. I cleared up some space in that. And I normally keep that out like that. And this zipped over to one side. That way I can real quickly and easily plug in that speaker mic. So, anyway, figured I'd just show you my radio bag real quick, my tank whiskey. Anyway, this is already really longer than I intended it. I just kind of wanted it to be a quick, short, and maybe a little humorous. Not quite as short and to the point as Not a Rubicon, but I was trying. And anyway, yeah, that's what I got going on. I cleared out my bags a little bit. I'm doing better, man. I'm doing better. I hope y'all have a great day. Shalom.